Hello, and welcome to SpaceEngine Exploration. Episode 102. I wasn't expecting to make an episode 102, but I kind of wanted to talk about something. A little bit about YouTube, and how it's kind of a scary platform to be on. Now, it's no secret that a lot of people jump on YouTube hoping that they're going to be successful in some way. Whether it's making a living off of it, or just getting attention or reaching publicity to raise awareness for something. People jump on YouTube for their own reasons. And I think any reason they really jump on is fair as long as it, is civil in some way. But something is kind of scary about YouTube, and that is the security of YouTube. By that I mean the job security of YouTube. A lot of people do treat YouTube as their job, and one channel that comes into mind that I had a video in my subfeed 2 days ago is Cody'sLab. He received 2 channel strikes because maybe there is some certain group that does not like him and has been flagging his videos like crazy. So anything that seems to have any sort of basically gray area standing with YouTube's policies has been getting flagged like crazy, and it's resulting in his videos being striked, taken down. And he's even gone through and removed like 100 of his videos and unlisted them to protect his channel. Now, before I continue with this, his channel has been reinstated and he's back to being able to upload to YouTube. But the thing that's scary about this is the second time this has happened in like 3 months, which means there's not really much of like a cooldown or anything like that would stop this from, let's say, happening again next month. And that's a very scary thing to see, because Cody has a very, what can I say, very educational, very family friendly. He doesn't swear in his videos, he doesn't really do anything violent or like, just his video fits across pretty much everyone's morals and all that. So he has a very family-friendly channel, and the fact that he's not protected against things like this is pretty crazy. Of course, the internet is very malicious, and it's a dog-eat-dog world on the internet, of course, but it's very scary to see that YouTube does not really have any safeguard or system in place to prevent these kind of things from happening, from these false positives. Now, it's no secret that YouTube is ran by AI, and has been for a lot longer than 2017. People are really over dramatizing the YouTube AI and the fact that YouTube's going all left wing and really just blowing it out of proportion, but these things do happen. See, the AI that runs YouTube is a very world-class kind of thing. It's something that world-class developers are working on. And it's something basically phenomenal happening right in front of our eyes. See, the AI that runs YouTube is one of a kind. It's something being built for YouTube. And it's going to be an ongoing project throughout the entire life of YouTube. And a lot of people just don't really respect that. They think it's really black and white. Like, everyone's video should be reviewed by a human. Okay, but then where's that standard of what's the minimum amount of subscribers you're gonna have in video views before it's reviewed by a human? Because there's only so much humans can do to moderate the content on YouTube. Not to mention, you're gonna be paying some extreme salaries, benefits, and other things to the many tens of thousands of employees you're gonna have to employ to do that. And that's very difficult to do when YouTube is operating on a loss. They're not making revenue off YouTube. The reason why Google owns YouTube is basically for the patent rights, the basically the power that YouTube is, the reach that YouTube has to promote their products. That's no secret either. That's been a known thing for many years. So it's pretty crazy to really just witness this happening, and it's kind of scary to think that there's not really much of a job security with YouTube. Cody could have lost his channel and effectively lost his job and living if his channel would have gone under. Of course, apparently, even if you get 3 channel strikes, there is a chance to redeem your channel and get it back. There's been instances of this happening, so that's very good to hear. At least it's not like they just delete everything, zero out the hard drives, and get rid of all the content. So, at least there is a chance to get everything back if you do lose it. But that's only if you meet probably a very high amount of subscribers and have a very far reach. Now, for someone with a channel of like 10,000 subscribers such as my own, if this were to happen to my channel, you best bet there would be no chance of me ever getting this channel back. And that applies to anyone probably under 100,000 subscribers. Even those with 100,000 subscribers, there's so many channels with 100,000 subscribers now that that's not really a big number on YouTube anymore. It's like once you hit 1 million, that's about the part where, or the point where YouTube will actually be willing to support your channel and make you a recommended channel and protect you in any sort of regard. And that's very scary because if you really look at the perspective of it, when your channel gets harassed in such ways by people, it's almost like employee harassment YouTube is doing. They are taking down your channel and they have a bias towards other employees than they do for the other ones. But of course, that's the thing with a partnership, is YouTube is only going to cut ties with you if you do something that they never agreed to. You're not technically an employee of YouTube when you're making money from AdSense. You will get a W-2, you will get your tax forms, but that's about it. For the most part, it's a partnership. That's what a YouTube partnership is. You're not an employee of YouTube. YouTube is not obligated to protect you in any form or fashion. They're just going to cut ties with you if you disagree with their terms and conditions of the agreement for the partnership. And I feel like a lot of people don't really respect that. Yes, you can make a living off YouTube, but it's like getting a sponsorship. That sponsor can cut ties with you or abandon you at any point in time. So there's not really much of a job security with YouTube. And I don't know where people are getting this false obligation that there is. I guess just poor assumption, not actually reading any of the terms and agreements they agree to when they become a partner with YouTube. But yeah, it's kind of something I wanted to talk about, and it's really cool to see that Cody got his channel back. But I really hope YouTube at least does put some kind of safeguard in the way to protect content creators who are really just trying to make a legitimate living off YouTube, like Cody'sLab. And hopefully something can be done to fix this and make it way less exploitable. Anyways, that's the end of my rant. This is SpaceEngine Exploration, so let's get to some suggestions. So this first suggestion is from the Redstone Hive. You've been actually looking at it for the past 8.5 minutes now. You wanted me to go through and turn up the galaxy magnitude, and what we've been flying through this entire time has been a bunch of galaxies. So every one of these dots is a galaxy. I turned up the magnitude so you can see the pockets and expansion of the universe, which is just a really cool feature in this game. So if I click on one of these, you can see that it's in fact, well, flew across the universe there, but it's in fact a galaxy. And you can see all the globular clusters because they light up a lot brighter, same with nebulas, when you turn up the galaxy magnitude. So it's a very cool sight to see. And it doesn't really bog down the performance like turning up the stars. So let's go ahead and default this, and this is your usual view when you zoom out. And let's visit the few suggestions I have on this video. So a lot of people may have seen my Pluto video. I was not expecting that to get 500 views, and it's still getting views. I rendered that like a month ago. I just haven't been able to upload it because it was like a 2 gigabyte video. And since I've been flying through galaxies, my game crashed. And here's Pluto. I think I flew back over here to get a thumbnail. Go and clear this out. Okay, let's go back to that suggestion. This one is from Ross Coleman. What was I saying? Yeah, I made the Pluto video. Oh, well, those really cool rings and a nice detailed planet. But yeah, I made that Pluto video like a month ago. There must be a bunch of stars because there's a lot of shadows on this planet, or the rings anyways. And yeah, I like those little perspective videos because when you look at like information, you don't really get a perspective of it. You just kind of see a number of how far Pluto is from Earth, for example. And it's like, okay, well, it's going to take 4.5 hours to get there. Okay, that's 4.5 hours. But when you render it out in a video, it's kind of like, wow, this is very long and boring and very tedious. Well, 4.5 hours is the length of time that it takes to basically get a signal from Earth to Pluto. So when the New Horizons probe basically flew past Pluto, mission planning basically had to send information to it 4.5 hours in advance. So it was a very precise maneuver to get these high-res images of Pluto that we have and that are used in SpaceEngine today, and many other games and many other, you know, sources, research material, the images of Pluto we have. And it gave us tons of information on like the new size of Pluto. It's bigger than we expected it to be, and yeah, well, I feel like it's really cool to kind of convey things in video that way. That's a star apparently, but it's completely lacking its diffraction spikes. I don't know why that is. Yep, not a clue. Only shows up in the atmosphere for some reason. That's bizarre. Didn't the other star have a diffraction spike? I don't know. And it's very cool that I could just do that in SpaceEngine, kind of convey that information in that way. A lot of the people might have thought it was kind of an unusual video for me to upload, but if you actually go back in my channel quite a ways, you can see that I've done similar type videos for basically exoplanets that orbit stars very rapidly. I think I have like an 8.5 hour video sitting on my channel right now. That is basically just a planet orbiting around a star in real time. And I think those real-time kind of videos are very cool. I don't expect anyone to even watch it all the way through. In fact, it'll be fun to look at the analytics and see where people closed off on the video. And if you turn on closed captions in the video, you can see a little Easter egg that I have that kind of explains the reasoning for the video. Well, the diffraction spikes show up here. So it's a rainbow ring Terra with some beautiful terrain formation, and it looks like a couple of large moons. Very neat. And basically don't be surprised if I start making videos like that. As you guys may have seen, I've kind of stepped away from Universe Sandbox 2 quite a bit. Really, like SpaceEngine, I'm just kind of waiting for some major overhauls with the game. SpaceEngine releases a lot slower updates, obviously, because it's being developed by a very small team, if not one person, with some assistance from essentially the community. Well, Universe Sandbox 2 has a team, and it is a paid game, so they get updates out a lot more frequently. But the thing about Universe Sandbox 2 is I've done a series on it. It's basically a Let's Play on it for like a year. And I do convey a lot of useless information in that series, and basically as I'm kind of learning a lot about astronomy as I play the game, and based on comments and feedback. And on top of that, it's also kind of misleading for a lot of my videos because I'm playing this game and people are assuming that it's like an educational series. That's probably because I don't put like Universe Sandbox 2 in the title or like Let's Play in the title. But there's only so much text you can really fit in the title and still have it fit on like the recommended side of like YouTube videos and stuff. If I put Universe Sandbox 2, that's a very long title. And really the naming scheme for that would be difficult. So I'd have it in a playlist called Let's Play Universe Sandbox 2. I try to supply enough information in the description explaining what the series is about, but nobody at all ever reads descriptions, and really the feedback that I get on that series is basically garbage. It's completely useless to me. I do get some very useful comments, but a lot of it is just terribleness. But I mean, what do you expect on YouTube, to be honest? But it's pretty bad. So a lot of people assume that I'm trying to basically educate people using Universe Sandbox 2, which is the case for a few of the videos, but most of the videos, it's literally me turning on the game, jumping in, and testing somebody's user-based suggestion, basically, pretty much. Their suggestion they just randomly came up with, whether it's just collide two things together or try to simulate a galaxy with the particle effects that are in the game, which doesn't really work very well, but I mean, it's a fun experiment to try. It's something that I don't think anyone else on YouTube has tried, and it's just kind of curiosity kind of thing. It's more seeing how the game works, not really trying to simulate the universe in any sort of way. And it's hard to get people to understand that and convey that information without adding like some 30-second disclaimer to the beginning of every video, and I'm not going to do that because it's going to make for a very boring video. So it kind of just is what it is. But yeah, the main thing is, if I do a lot more Universe Sandbox 2 content, I kind of want to construct it a little bit better than just jumping into the game and, you know, throwing things around. Not that that isn't fun, and not that I won't be doing that in the future, but you know what I mean. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion here. Next one's from Oshi Jack. He says, go to the cornermost spiral galaxy. I think I have before. I think there's actually an Andromeda galaxy in one of the corners of this game. Why did I just speed up time on something I want to do? It takes a while to fly out to the edge of the observable universe in this game, and I don't think I'm going to find the corner. In fact, I don't even think I'm going to proceed on with the suggestion. As I've mentioned in previous videos, the universe in this game is a square. It's not a circle or sphere. So there is 4 corners, and there's the cornermost galaxies, and it's pretty difficult to locate which one's the cornermost. Okay, the game's lagging. Yeah, I can't really proceed on with the suggestion, I don't think. I don't think I'm going to find it anyways. So that'd mean there would be roughly 4 cornermost galaxies, spiral galaxies. Yeah, I've visited corner galaxies in previous episodes. People have suggested them in the past. I just don't really have the willpower to go and look for that myself, because then I'm going to be here for the next 30 minutes to an hour. So this next one is from Alien from Zoth. Go ahead and paste this in, and let's go. It is a warm tear with life. Not sure if you'll do another exploration video on this version. Well, surprise, surprise. But if you do, here's this suggestion: Earth-like exomoon with a close orbiting gas giant. Waiting to see a gas giant. Okay, I don't see the gas giant. I see a reflection over here. Still not seeing a gas giant. Oh, there's a gas giant. Yeah. Well, okay. And not really much more detail beyond that, so we can go ahead and touch down and look at the life textures and hunt. We can go to the sunset, which I imagine to be quite Earth-like. Certainly is. Volcanic activity. And it's Terra. There's a cyclone right there. And more volcanoes. But as you can kind of tell, I am kind of bored of this version of the game. And it's kind of something that's creeped onto me with the previews and hype around the next version, because the next version of the game looks phenomenal compared to this. I don't like some of the new shading effects, but that's totally fine, because I think they could just be turned off anyways. And mainly the terrain generation and the variances of terras and stuff like that. There is so much added to the new version of the game. It's like a massive planet overhaul. It's very cool. And this is a bug volcano. Yeah, there is something. There's something incredibly wrong with this volcano here. And there's a lot of hurricanes on this planet. There's a gas giant over there. And it looks like it does have rings. I can't really see them, but you can see the shadows. Oh, there they are. bright green rings. Imagine, yeah, the volcanic activity is probably caused by a lot of tidal friction from this gas giant here. I guess tidal friction is probably the wrong term that I've been using this entire time though. Because tidal friction is when, like, for example, our moon is orbiting around Earth and it slowly loses its rotational velocity due to the tidal friction Earth has on the moon and vice versa. And the moon also acts like a brake for Earth and reduces its rotational velocity over time as well. So I guess the term I'd be using for the high volcanic activity and probably tectonic activity here would be tidal stress, not really so much tidal friction, but I'm probably going to still use the term tidal friction regardless. So this next suggestion is from Burrow Zero, which I think is Deck Burrow. Let's go ahead and paste this in. That window will pop up. There we go. I don't know why that turned bright white. Okay, I think I'm looking at a binary. There's no description though. We do have an Oceania with life. It looks like it has a crazy atmosphere though. And it's also tidally locked. Oh, and frozen on one side. So we can actually land on this Oceania. Very cool. But we're not going to be able to view any of the life, of course, because oceanic life does not really exist in the game. At least not in the form of a texture like the terrestrial life does. But there is a tidally locked Oceania. And let's go ahead and speed up time here and just kind of watch the clouds rotate around the planet. Very neat. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the next suggestion here. Okay, so this next one is from Worm Terra. Is the suggestion going to be a Worm Terra? We'll find out. I'm going to go ahead and paste this ID in, then I'll read the comment. It's a Worm Terra. Well, yeah, pretty warm. Okay, let's go ahead and pause time real quick. And read this comment. First time I published a suggestion, but go to ID, insert ID here. It's a temperate Terra with life orbiting a Mars-looking moon. Go to the moon's atmosphere at January 1st, 2 hours of 2018. Sorry, I'm not a native English speaker. Well, you did pretty good with that comment, actually. Grammatically, it seems mostly correct. Apart from a little bit of wording, and the English should be capitalized, but I am not very picky when it comes to grammar at all, because I mistype all the time. So let's see if this works. Oh, shockingly, copy-pasting that worked. Okay, so here's the moon. And we have the reflection of the planet here, and it looks like we have an eclipse. Exactly what that is. So we are on a moon that is currently, I guess, causing a kind of solar eclipse, except that's not Sol, that's not the sun. So whatever this star is, eclipse. Very cool, and we could also land on the planet down here and get a look at the eclipse from this perspective. Of course, it's not like a solar eclipse where the sun is the same diameter as the moon, so we don't really get to see the cool glowing outline that we get during a lunar eclipse, but we can see the atmosphere, which is something the moon doesn't have, so, or at least not a very thick one. So that's a very cool thing to be able to see. And there's Death Star. Let's go ahead and scroll down and visit the last suggestion we have here. Not a lot of people have been making suggestions, but I mean, that's kind of as expected since these videos are going to be kind of at random. Let's go ahead and visit the next planet. It's a warm Terra with a nitrogen water atmosphere. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And And with interesting microbial life, which to synthesize oxygen from water. Okay, looks like we've got some kind of purplish rings here. And the life here is organic unicellular, but it's marine life. It's kind of just, yeah, like you stated, microbial life. It's not really evolved, but what's cool is it's got like green water and stuff. This is kind of a representation of like an early Earth in a way. But I guess the oceans are... Now it's nitrogen, H2O atmosphere, as you can see there, with oxygen and carbon dioxide, of course. I still don't know why the sun doesn't have any form of like fraction spike. But I assume oxygen is still just like developing on this planet, so the water is green. Yeah, it's not very thick with oxygen at all. Well, it kind of is. But there's a lot of nitrogen in the air, I guess. Okay, so it's kind of a representation of just early developing life, I believe. Got some volcanic activity, no plant life, of course, so we're not expecting any green or purple terrain. And just this very cool pink, very hazy looking atmosphere that is not very thick at all. In fact, it's about 1/5 of that of Earth. So it's a very thin atmosphere. I pressed a button. I don't know what I pressed, but I'm holding R right now and it's rotating around the planet. Rotating around the equator? Oh no, it's just going up. Oh, and F goes down. And what did T just do? Okay, T basically made me appear at the planet. No, I pressed G on accident. Oh, okay, I see. T is track object, so it keeps it constantly centered in my vision. Okay, good to know. So I think that is the last suggestion for this video. There's not really a lot of them. I did somehow draw this out to about 30 minutes though. I guess what I could talk about is the Pluto video. That video, the distance between Earth and Pluto and whatnot. I was originally going to try to hold W for 4.5 hours, and I thought about it, and I thought that was just incredibly unconventional. So what it does is after Jupiter fades off the screen, which by the way, it's not set to our current time frame, so it's completely inaccurate, but I planned that entirely so something would move off of the screen to make you kind of get the illusion that we are still traveling to Pluto, and that once Earth disappears, it doesn't just still frame. But once Jupiter fades off the screen, I basically just copy pasted like a 15-second sequence over and over again until it's like 4.5 minutes long, and then I basically just added the clip of arriving at Pluto. Very simple, easy to do. Holding W, you're gonna land either way too short of Pluto or way past it, moving at light speed. Which the initial takeoff and arrival at Pluto is light speed, so it is a value of 1 in the game. So I tried to keep it like as accurate as possible. A lot of the information that's like in the description is based off of really just quick Google searches and all that, but for the most part, I think it's a really cool video, even though it's a very simple video. And a lot of people might find it useless. I don't know, I just find stuff. So yeah, it certainly won't be the last one. I don't think I'm going to regularly do this, but yeah, I kind of want to go back and really just mess around with some of the older content concepts that I was messing with in the past, like Beauty of Space Engine and stuff like that. So I might use some of these later suggestions in the series for like a Beauty of Space Engine episode. Maybe make like a nice 1080p 60 FPS episode and a nice high bit or something like that. And that lasts like 5 or 6 minutes. I'm gonna have to go source some royalty-free audio and stuff for that, but yeah, I think it'd be cool to make, especially with some new editing techniques and things I've just kind of learned past year with SpaceEngine. A lot of this would be much easier with the next version of SpaceEngine, where you can kind of there's a camera pathing tool where you can basically just make a path for the camera to move on. You can choose the speeds, and you can basically record a track for it to basically ride on. It's a very cool tool that would be very useful for those awesome cinematic shots, and I'm really hyped for that. And the more I talk about the new version of SpaceEngine, it just gets me more hyped because there is so much cool stuff I could do with that new version of the game that I just don't have access to, unfortunately. Anyways, I think that's the end of this episode. If you guys liked the video, please subscribe, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.